It's the 13th of July 2024. Welcome to this Saturday's morning edition of YES101's Visual Radio. I'm Theruni Karunaratna. First on to your headlines this morning.
News First headline.
COPE reveals unauthorized lease of Urban Development Authority land for 12 billion rupees. Government printer informs National Election Commission of expected cost. State Minister of Foreign Affairs calls on Indian Prime Minister. In international news, children killed in Nigeria, school collapse. And in sports, it's tennis Djokovic ready to live up to his own lofty expectations in final against Alcaraz. On to your top story this morning, it has been revealed before the Committee on Public Enterprises or COPE that a loss of 330 million rupees has been incurred by the government due to the unauthorized leasing of land located on Dr. Vijayawardena Fort, which is under the Urban Development Authority. COPE Chairman Rohita Gunawardena instructed officials to submit a formal report on the incident to the committee within 2 weeks. The matter was taken into discussion when the Committee on Public Enterprises convened in Parliament recently. It was revealed before COPE that a 6-acre land belonging to the Urban Development Authority located on James Peters Mavatha in Colombo 2 was leased out for 12 billion rupees for 99 years without the approval of the Board of Directors in 2019. It was further revealed that the lease agreement for the land was prepared and presented to the Board of Directors for approval, with additional conditions that were not included in the original lease terms and conditions approved by the board. Disciplinary action is being taken against the legal director in connection with the drafting of this lease agreement. The development activities on the land has not yet commenced. Meanwhile, officials of the National Audit Department have informed the committee that they have identified problematic issues in the accounting system of the Urban Development Authority. The officials further pointed out that the valuation of investment lands owned by the authority is also questionable, highlighting that the ownership of the land where the Parliament complex is located still rests with the Urban Development Authority. The National Audit Department officials recommended that steps be taken to transfer the ownership of that land to the Parliament. Accordingly, COPE Chairman Parliamentarian Rohita Gunawardena has instructed that a comprehensive report containing all details of all investment lands owned by the Urban Development Authority be submitted to the committee within 2 weeks. Meanwhile, the Department of Government Printing says that up to 600 to 800 million rupees will be spent on printing for the presidential election. Government printer Ganga Kalpani Liyanage says that she has informed the National Election Commission in this regard. However, she also says that the amount could be reduced depending on the size of the ballot paper. The government printer adds that the relevant documents for printing will be available after the presidential election is proclaimed. However, she also says that the census sheets for state officials used for election activities have already been printed. Now in more local news, India began hosting foreign ministers from BIMSTEC countries for a 2-day retreat in the national capital aimed at bolstering cooperation among Bay of Bengal countries. BIMSTEC brings together 7 countries of South and Southeast Asia for multifaceted cooperation. This retreat comes as India has been making concerted efforts to make BIMSTEC a vibrant forum for regional cooperation, as initiatives under SAARC or South Asian Association for Regional Cooperation were not moving forward for a variety of reasons. Besides India, BIMSTEC comprises Sri Lanka, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Nepal and Bhutan. On the sidelines of the event, Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi met with BIMSTEC foreign ministers, including Sri Lanka's State Minister Tharaka Balasurya. The Prime Minister on X, formerly known as Twitter, said that he discussed ways to strengthen regional cooperation, including connectivity, energy, trade, health, agriculture, science, security and people-to-people exchanges. Now on the sidelines of BIMSTEC foreign ministers' retreat in New Delhi, State Minister of Foreign Affairs Tharaka Balasurya called on Indian External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar. They had discussed matters of bilateral interest, including connectivity and regional cooperation.
International news.
Now, a two-story school collapsed during morning classes on Friday in north-central Nigeria, killing 22 students and sending rescuers on a frantic search for more than 100 people trapped in the rubble. The Saints Academy College in Plateau State collapsed shortly after students, many of whom were 15 years old or younger, arrived for their classes. A total of 154 students were initially trapped in the rubble, but Plateau Police spokesman later said 132 of them had been rescued and were being treated for injuries in various hospitals.
Sports news.
And in sports, it's tennis. Without a title for over 6 months, Novak Djokovic is now within touching distance of a record 25th Grand Slam trophy, with the all-conquering Serb saying Wimbledon always brings the best out of him. The 37-year-old lost in his Australian Open fortress at the start of the year, with his bid to win a record-extending 11th Melbourne Park title cut short in the semi-finals. A knee injury then prematurely ended his French Open title defence last month. So when he reached the All England Club final after a 6-4, 7-6, 7-6, 6-4 win over Lorenzo Musetti on Friday, he was finally living up to his own lofty expectations. Standing in his way to an 8th Wimbledon crown that will see him equal Roger Federer's mark is Spaniard Carlos Alcaraz, who beat Djokovic in last year's title clash. And with that, we bring to a close this edition of YES101's Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Peruni Karnaratna. Thank you very much for watching.